Ladies and gentlemen, there is a fundamental truth about beauty that many people choose to overlook. Beauty is not solely the result of genetics or fortune. It is a reflection of discipline, self-respect, and a dedication to the routines that nourish vitality. As women grow older, society often murmurs deceptive narratives suggesting that youth is the only valid form of beauty, and that aging is merely a slow drift into obscurity. This is entirely false. A woman who invests in herself, who polishes her appearance and nurtures grace, commands admiration at every stage of life. So, what are the core practices that help older women maintain a youthful appearance? They are not complex, but they require steadfast consistency. Posture, for instance, is not just about standing erect. It is a proclamation of presence, a quiet affirmation of self-worth, confidence, and dominion over one's own body. The way someone holds themselves influences not just how the world sees them, but more importantly, how they see themselves. A woman who moves with balance and poise radiates a type of authority that goes beyond age. She draws attention not through speech, but through the steady certainty of her physical presence. This is why posture is critical to both beauty and longevity. It is a habit that expresses strength, clarity, and confidence. Conversely, poor posture tells another story. It signals fatigue, self-doubt, and even surrender. When the shoulders droop, the head bows, and the spine slouches, the body communicates withdrawal from life. This isn't merely an aesthetic concern. Bad posture affects breathing, circulation, and even emotional state. It initiates a loop where one not only appears older, but begins to feel it. The simple act of standing upright interrupts this cycle. It raises the chest, expands the lungs, and encourages deeper, more regulated breathing. A woman who carries herself intentionally not only looks younger, she feels invigorated. There is a powerful link between posture and how one views oneself. Research has shown that standing with an upright, open stance boosts confidence and lowers stress. This isn't some trivial trick. It's grounded in biology. The way a body is aligned influences hormone levels, particularly cortisol and testosterone. When a person adopts a posture of strength, their body responds with a hormonal shift that promotes resilience and assertiveness. Correcting posture, therefore, isn't just a matter of looking good. It is a means of reclaiming inner fortitude. In addition, posture deeply impacts how others respond to us. People are instinctively drawn to those who exhibit self-assured body language, and confidence often manifests most clearly in how we physically present ourselves. A woman who stands with a straight spine, lifted chin, and deliberate movements is seen as more competent, more reliable, and more captivating. She doesn't shrink herself for the sake of comfort. She occupies her space boldly, sending a clear message that she belongs, that she is fully present, and that she is actively engaged with the world. This is what timeless beauty looks like. Not a frantic attempt to recapture youth, but a graceful embrace of presence and composure. Maintaining strong posture is not just about how one stands still. It extends into every aspect of movement. Walking with intention, sitting with awareness, and even the way one uses their hands all contribute to the perception of vitality. Every movement should convey mindfulness, a reflection of internal balance rather than automatic habit. How a woman enters a room, how she positions herself during conversations, and how she engages with her surroundings all shape the impression she leaves behind. Subtle shifts such as aligning the shoulders, lengthening the neck, and engaging the core can change not only her appearance, but also how she experiences her own body. Age does not determine posture. Habit does. Many accept rounded backs or unsteady steps as unavoidable signs of aging, but that is simply not accurate. These are typically the result of neglect, of surrendering to tension and gravity instead of maintaining active control over the body. The human form is remarkably resilient. With consistent effort, anyone can improve their posture and recover a sense of youthful vibrancy. Simple practices like daily stretching, strengthening the core, and being conscious during everyday movements can reverse years of accumulated damage. The essential ingredient is awareness, understanding that each moment offers a chance to reinforce positive habits instead of giving in to decline. Posture is not just a physical condition, it is a visible manifestation of an internal mindset. It's a declaration of how a person perceives themselves and how they expect to be treated. Those who master their posture also master their presence, and in doing so, they generate an aura of timeless sophistication that resists the expectations associated with age. The way someone chooses to present themselves is far from trivial. It's a direct indicator of their self-esteem, mindfulness, and the care they apply to their own existence. Presentation isn't merely about fashion or outer beauty. It is rooted in intention. It's about making thoughtful choices that are in alignment with who one truly is and how one wishes to be seen. A woman who commits time and effort to cultivating a deliberate presentation is sending a clear message. She values herself, she has personal standards, and she understands the importance of presence. Her clothing, grooming, and overall image are not just about surface appeal. They speak to her identity, her self-discipline, and her awareness of the world around her. People form opinions within seconds, and whether we approve of it or not, our appearance factors heavily into those judgments. A person who dresses with care communicates readiness. They show that they take themselves seriously and that they expect others to do the same. This isn't about being vain or superficial. It's about self-respect. Just as one would tidy their home to welcome guests, one should prepare their appearance as a gesture of consideration and dignity. Neglect in appearance often reflects deeper issues with organization and attentiveness. Someone who wears rumpled clothes, disregards grooming, or selects outfits without thought is often revealing a lack of attentiveness to other parts of their life as well. In contrast, a woman who ensures her clothing is clean, well-fitted, and appropriate for the context is likely bringing that same level of thoughtfulness to her career, her connections, and her commitments. There is discipline in dressing with care, in sustaining a polished look, and in maintaining personal standards regardless of circumstance. Intentional presentation also influences how one moves. How a well-dressed woman walks, how she speaks, and how she interacts with her surroundings amplifies her impact far more than the label on her clothes. There's a natural harmony between outer appearance and inner grace. A refined appearance must be paired with an equally composed demeanor. The way someone walks, makes eye contact, listens, and engages all play a role in the impression they create. That is why elegance is never coincidental. It is the product of consistency, of a deep understanding that how we present ourselves is intrinsically connected to who we are. A woman who styles her hair with care, who wears colors that highlight her features, who dresses in a way that reflects her values, is communicating a strong sense of self-respect. She is not seeking external approval. Rather, she recognizes that how she looks influences not only how others respond to her, but how she feels about herself. There is profound power in choosing to be intentional with presentation. It shapes both external perception and internal self-worth. A woman who puts thought into her wardrobe, who carries herself with poise, and who approaches the world with care and attention feels more confident. She moves through life knowing she is ready for whatever comes her way, because she has chosen to show up fully prepared. This is not about extravagance or indulgence. It is about understanding that the external and internal are deeply intertwined. The more effort someone dedicates to their personal presentation, the more they affirm their own value. Intentional presentation has nothing to do with chasing trends or seeking constant approval. It is about curating an image that reflects authenticity, strength, and self-assurance. A woman who refines her outward appearance with purpose isn't just dressing to impress. She is setting a benchmark for herself and for the people around her. She is making it clear that beauty does not belong exclusively to youth. Rather, beauty is the result of attention, detail, and the conscious decision to live with elegance, pride, and personal power. Weight is not merely a matter of outward appearance. It is a reflection of discipline, self-regard, and a sense of control over one's physical form. The way a person maintains or neglects their weight is a direct reflection of their routines, their mindset, and how they approach life itself. This is not about vanity, nor is it about bending to unrealistic beauty ideals. It's about wellness, vitality, and the capacity to navigate life with strength and assurance. A body that is properly cared for works efficiently, enabling a person to participate in life fully rather than being hindered by avoidable physical limitations. The truth is that excess weight rarely appears without cause. It is most often the result of disorganization, poor habits, and a pattern of neglect. It doesn't arrive suddenly, nor does it stem from one poor decision. It is the consequence of repeated behaviors. Those behaviors, over time, not only shape the body, but also mold the mind. A person who consistently commits to mindful eating and regular physical activity builds a body that mirrors that commitment. In contrast, someone who lets their routines deteriorate into complacency will eventually see those effects reflected in their physical state. Food is one of the most immediate ways individuals encounter discipline. Eating is essential, but it is also deeply emotional, tied to comfort, habit, and reactionary impulses. Many eat not because of hunger, but as a response to anxiety, fatigue, or even boredom. The capacity to regulate eating habits and consume food primarily for sustenance, not escape, is a profound act of self-command. Someone who can regulate their diet proves to themselves, day in and day out, that they are capable of making intentional, thoughtful choices rather than succumbing to fleeting impulses. Exercise functions in much the same way. It is not simply about burning fat or shaping muscles. It is about learning to move through resistance. The body seeks comfort by default. It naturally desires ease. Discipline calls on an individual to go beyond that comfort zone, to choose action over inertia, to move even when stillness is more tempting. Regular physical activity strengthens not just the body, but also fortifies the will. It teaches the mind to persist through discomfort in service of a long-term goal. A person who strengthens their body is simultaneously toughening their mindset, cultivating determination and tenacity. Keeping a healthy weight has deep implications for energy levels and aging. Carrying additional weight places extra burden on the joints, slows down metabolism, and leads to chronic fatigue. Eventually, this creates a vicious pattern. Physical pain leads to inactivity, and inactivity fosters further weight gain. Breaking free from this loop requires conscious effort, choosing nourishment over indulgence, movement over passivity. Those who master this equilibrium find themselves with heightened vitality, increased mental sharpness, and a presence that feels noticeably younger. They don't merely go through the motions, they live with purpose and physical readiness. Beyond the physical benefits, weight and body composition strongly affect self-image and confidence. Someone who feels powerful in their own skin holds themselves differently. They move with assurance, engage more fully with others, and radiate an energy of ownership. They don't hide beneath baggy clothes or shy away from the world due to discomfort or fatigue. They occupy space with intention, fully aware that they are in command of their own physical expression. Ultimately, weight management is not about shortcuts or trendy diets. It's about a lifelong devotion to discipline. It's an understanding that each decision contributes to a bigger picture. The body tells a story. It is a record of the patterns and decisions one chooses to live by. Those who take health seriously don't just improve their appearance. They enhance their quality of life. They prove to themselves every day that they are the authors of their own story, the ones steering their course, not drifting at the mercy of circumstance. The way one presents themselves to the world is never insignificant. It reflects self-awareness, personal pride, and the care they put into how they live. Presentation isn't limited to beauty or fashion. It is about intentionality. It is about aligning outward choices with inner identity and sending a clear message about who one is and what they value. A woman who invests time into cultivating a thoughtful, deliberate image is broadcasting to the world that she honors herself, that she has principles, and that she knows the value of showing up fully and authentically. Clothing, grooming, and overall appearance are not shallow concerns. They are silent indicators of identity, structure, and social insight. People form impressions quickly, and whether we like it or not, appearance has an impact in that initial judgment. Someone who dresses with care is signaling that they are attentive, that they are ready, and that they respect the moment and the people within it. This isn't about superficial approval. It's about showing respect for oneself and for others. Just as one would prepare their home to receive a guest, one should prepare their body and appearance as a mark of respect and readiness. Carelessness in appearance often reflects broader disarray. A person who wears stained or wrinkled clothes, who neglects grooming, or who selects attire carelessly may be revealing a deeper lack of precision. This might seem insignificant on the surface, but in reality, habits tend to reflect each other. A woman who ensures her clothes are appropriate, clean, and well-fitted is also likely to apply that same attentiveness to her work, her relationships, and her other responsibilities. There is real structure in dressing with care, in maintaining a polished and composed appearance, and in holding oneself to a consistent standard regardless of external pressures. Intentional presentation extends far beyond appearance. It encompasses body language, speech, and how a person navigates the world. A well-dressed woman who walks with composure, speaks with intention, and interacts confidently has a presence far more commanding than someone who relies solely on designer labels or popular fashion. There is a powerful synchronicity between how one looks and how one behaves. A sophisticated appearance is incomplete without the grace to match it. The way someone walks, looks others in the eye, listens, and carries themselves in conversation all contribute to the impression they create. This is why elegance cannot be accidental. It is something that is deliberately nurtured over time, an understanding that identity and appearance are not separate but intimately connected. A woman who brushes her hair with care, who chooses colors that flatter her features, who aligns her appearance with her core values, is expressing deep self-regard. She is not seeking compliments or approval. She is aligning how she looks with how she feels. She understands that presentation shapes perception, not only of others, but of herself. There is immense strength in choosing to be deliberate with one's image. It influences not just how others perceive you, but how you view yourself. A woman who puts effort into her appearance, who maintains healthy posture and dresses with consideration, naturally feels more capable. She enters spaces with confidence, knowing that she is prepared, composed, and intentional. This is not about extravagance or showing off. It's about recognizing the connection between external appearance and inner self-esteem. The more someone invests in how they present themselves, the more they affirm their worth. Thoughtful presentation is not about pursuing trends or begging for validation. It is about shaping a personal image that reflects depth, discipline, and conviction. A woman who chooses her attire with awareness, who cultivates an image with integrity, is not merely dressing up. She is setting a precedent for herself and for others. She is showing that true beauty lies not in youth, but in detail, care, and the conscious decision to move through the world with dignity and confidence. Rejuvenation is not a luxury. It is a vital necessity. The body and mind are deeply interwoven, each influencing the other more than most people realize. When one is neglected, the other deteriorates. Real youthfulness is not about eliminating the signs of aging. It's about preserving energy, clarity, and vitality so that life is not merely endured but fully lived. A woman who chooses to prioritize rejuvenation doesn't just appear younger. She embodies it. It shows in how she walks, how she thinks, and how she interacts with the world around her. Mental rejuvenation begins with proper rest, not only through sleep but also through the ability to detach from chronic stress, overthinking, and constant stimulation. The brain is constantly filtering input, solving problems, and responding to demands. Without intentional recovery, it wears down, leading to irritability, fogginess, and even depression. Sleep remains the most fundamental and potent form of mental recovery. It is in deep sleep that the brain repairs itself, processes memories, and eliminates toxins that contribute to aging and neurological decline. A woman who fiercely guards her sleep, who does not sacrifice it for trivial things, is safeguarding her sharpness, her calm, and her long-term mental resilience. Beyond sleep, rejuvenation comes from stillness. The modern world is loud, fast, and perpetually demanding that pull attention in countless directions. Many individuals live in a state of constant mental fatigue, never allowing their minds the opportunity to reset. Practices, such as meditation, intentional breathing, and even brief moments of solitude, are not luxuries, they are necessities. They grant the brain the space to process, recharge, and gain clarity. A woman who incorporates these practices into her life does not merely slow the aging process. She strengthens her ability to concentrate, to remain emotionally grounded, and to navigate life with resilience. Physical rejuvenation is just as essential. The body is meant to move to build strength, and to persevere. Neglecting physical well-being accelerates aging, resulting in stiffness, low energy, and a gradual decline in capability. Regular movement must be prioritized. This does not require grueling exercise or punishing schedules, but rather a dedication to staying physically active in ways that support long-term vitality. Resistance training maintains muscle mass, which naturally decreases with age. Mobility practices reduce stiffness, allowing movement to stay graceful and fluid. Aerobic activity strengthens the heart, enhances circulation, and delivers oxygen and nutrients that fuel energy and skin health. Nutrition plays a foundational role in both physical and mental rejuvenation. The body mirrors what it receives. Highly processed foods, excessive sugar, and inflammatory ingredients speed up aging, drain vitality, and contribute to chronic disease. Alternatively, a diet abundant in whole foods, antioxidants, and key nutrients supports renewal. Hydration is equally essential. Water is at the core of cellular repair, detoxification, and skin suppleness. A well-nourished body doesn't just perform better, it exudes wellness in a way no beauty product can reproduce. Another commonly overlooked element of rejuvenation is emotional well-being. Stress, bitterness, and unresolved emotional wounds burden both the mind and body. Chronic stress leads to inflammation, speeds up the aging process, and diminishes one's internal reserves. A woman who learns to manage stress gracefully, who chooses to release emotional baggage instead of clinging to it, will always appear more radiant than someone who internalizes every hardship. Laughter, joy, and a playful spirit are among the most effective anti-aging forces. They alter the body's chemistry, reducing cortisol, while generating a sense of vitality that becomes visible in expression, posture, and how one moves. Rejuvenation is not passive, it requires ongoing devotion. A woman who places her recovery, movement, nutrition, and emotional clarity at the center of her life isn't merely maintaining her youth, she is elevating the quality of her daily experience. She is ensuring that each moment is lived with clarity, power, and unwavering presence. There's a quiet sadness in how many people allow themselves to age prematurely, not because of time itself, but because they abandon the spark that brings life. Color, playfulness is not childishness, it's a mental attitude, a refusal to become hardened by life's burdens, and a bold commitment to seek joy, even when responsibilities are heavy. A woman who welcomes playfulness does not ignore maturity, she enhances it. She embodies wisdom, insight, and emotional depth while still being able to laugh, be inquisitive, and find wonder in the little moments. This is what makes her timeless. Many fall into the trap of thinking that growing older demands a certain seriousness, as if playfulness is something to discard. They replace laughter with worry, wonder with routine, and spontaneity with predictability. But aging isn't what causes this transformation, it's a mindset. Playfulness isn't irresponsibility, it's the skill of carrying responsibility without allowing it to extinguish the spirit. It keeps the brain quick, the body vibrant, and the soul light-hearted. A woman who protects her playful side keeps her energy alive because she has not surrendered to the idea that age requires rigidity. One of the most noticeable effects of playfulness is the impact it has on vitality and mood. Laughter boosts endorphins, decreases stress chemicals, and improves blood flow, giving the entire system a natural lift. Doing things purely for fun, whether dancing, painting, or simply being a bit silly, keeps the mind agile and the Imagination fresh, a woman who allows room for play does not become stiff. In her thoughts, she stays curious, she adapts, and remains open to the endless possibilities around her. This adaptability is a key ingredient in feeling youthful, no matter the age shown on a calendar. Playfulness also significantly enhances human connection. Someone who holds on to a light-hearted spirit draws others, and they become a source of warmth, positivity, and relief in a world that too often feels weighty. A woman who can laugh at herself, who can joke without arrogance, who finds humor in everyday moments, brings life into her spaces. She isn't weighed down by ego or excessive seriousness. She recognizes that joy doesn't have to be earned, it can be chosen, and in choosing joy, she silently gives others permission to do the same. There's a type of beauty found in playfulness that cannot be manufactured or imitated. It shines in the eyes, in the genuine ease of a smile, in the grounded confidence of someone who doesn't take herself too seriously. A woman who embodies grace and keeps a sense of fun is unforgettable. She holds a magnetic charm that makes her both admirable and approachable. People are drawn to her because she reminds them of something pure, something they too wish to preserve, the ability to embrace life with open arms. Fear often stands between people and playfulness, fear of appearing silly, of being misunderstood, of stepping beyond what's deemed appropriate. Yet the most captivating women are those unafraid to enjoy themselves, to laugh freely, to live unbound by constant self-monitoring. They know life is far too short to spend it cloaked in rigidity or stuck in roles. Playfulness is not lack of wisdom, it is the choice to engage with life from a place of wholeness. A woman who protects her playful nature is also protecting her connection to life itself. She walks with lightness, not because she's been untouched by struggle, but because she's chosen not to let it dim her spirit. She defies age not by avoiding time, but by mastering how to truly live through time. Timeless beauty is not elusive, and it's certainly not reserved for the genetically gifted. It's the product of daily intention, the quiet, often invisible discipline of self-care. It's not hidden in expensive treatments or temporary trends. It's cultivated through the choices a woman makes every day: how she treats her body, how she speaks to herself, how she connects with others, and how she participates in the world around her. A woman who understands this doesn't chase after youth. She becomes the embodiment of vitality. She doesn't seek approval because her confidence is innate. She doesn't dread aging because she wears it with pride and depth. For beauty is not the absence of age, but the harmony of age with character and care. Discipline is what makes all of this possible, not shortcuts, not luck, and certainly not temporary fixes. It's how a woman invests in herself each day that shapes her presence and determines the impression she leaves. Her beauty does not fade with time, it matures, it gains dimension, and becomes even more compelling. It is not about becoming someone else, or trying to remain 20 forever. It's about showing up each day in her full power, clear in her intention and unwavering in her self-worth. Those who embrace this truth find that their beauty evolves into something unforgettable, not because they defied age, but because they defined it on their own terms.